every real estate business is different.
Absolutely.
So hearing other business models outside of your own can help you grow.
Yep. The people at the bottom are competing and the people at the top are collaborating. Go below, like, subscribe to our podcast, and also make sure to like us on Facebook and Instagram. Hey, Dave Adams with ProTech Inspections here with Amanda Smith from Fairway Mortgage. And we've got some exciting things we're going to start talking about, especially in February of this year. We are creating some real estate masterminds to bring together realtors, contractors, vendors to all the real estate agents and do things, provide services, conversations that you currently are not having that are critical to growing your business. So today, Amanda and I are going to have some pretty frank discussions. We're going to talk about truth over harmony, which, as many of you know, is the real underlying ethical core value that we have at ProTech, and we're wanting to bring conversations of that nature to you. So, Amanda, I think today what we want to do is really just kind of start to create some hype for what it is we want to create out of these masterminds.
I agree with that.
You know, there's a lot of brokerages doing a lot of training for their agents, but it's really generalized. It's not focused on what's specific to those agents. And we have to be careful here because certainly we don't want to step on brokers' toes, but they're running a business. And a lot of times they're not looking at it as they're running a business.
Right.
And running a business is hard. There's a lot of ups and downs. What do you think we're going to be able to bring as a group, bringing the folks from ProTech, the folks from Fairway Mortgage, but also creating a community that is of realtors, for realtors? What do you see happening here?
I think that those folks are going to be able to discuss things that they may not necessarily feel comfortable discussing with other realtors outside of a safe space, or maybe asking really in-depth lending questions, inspecting questions that they have that, like I said, that they're not comfortable speaking about outside of themselves. You know,
that makes me think too, and I think about probably the worst one is the real estate mastermind group on Facebook.
Yeah.
People ask questions on there and they're immediately ridiculed.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the way that you said safe space, because the way that I envision this is very similar to the coaching community that I'm in for home inspectors. So there's 8 or 10 of us coaching, and there's 8 or 10 groups. But we also are coached. So we'll spend a couple of days being coached and then share our experience with others. But what's important is we come together in a small group, and you build relationships in that small group. You build trust. And I think one of the key things that I want to put out there to begin with is part of truth over harmony is saying things that you may not say in a public setting. So as we create these small groups, it's important for folks to understand that that is a safe space. It is a private place. Nothing that's said in there can go outside of that group. It's meant to coach you, to grow your business, to think about things and to challenge you, to make you better, to give you something to feed you that you're not currently being fed.
Yeah, and I think people don't speak up because they are afraid of ridicule. When you're in a public forum like Facebook, you got 8 people telling you shouldn't own that.
This is an opportunity for people in our community of real estate to change the narrative. You know, you always hear about the bad deals. If there's a bad deal, is it both agents? Is it one agent? And I would surmise, again, truth over harmony, that there's things both of them could have done differently. But that's not the side of the story you're hearing. You know, we have to put ourselves in the other people's shoes. And it's real easy to use the excuse of, well, I was working in the best interest of my client.
You hear that a lot.
Yeah, but sometimes that is an excuse. Sometimes, believe it or not, clients don't know their own best interest. We're talking about an emotionally charged business transaction. And a lot of people aren't willing or simply can't separate that it is a business transaction because it's their home. It's where they're putting their family. And that makes it tough. And, you know, one of my favorite books is by Patrick Lencioni. It's called Getting Naked. And I don't want you to think that, you know, nobody wants to see me naked. That's not what we're talking about. But it's about making yourself vulnerable. And that's how we grow. We have to find opportunities for growth, opportunities for leadership. And to do that, we have to be willing to place ourselves in an environment where we're vulnerable, but have an open mind to learn what we did wrong.
And I think in this day and age, people don't want to do that because it's uncomfortable. We've gotten so used to being comfortable in what we know and what we do that challenge, you bristle against it.
Yeah, well, it's like real estate. Not real estate, it's like politics.
Right.
You know, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I frankly, that's not important to me. It doesn't tell me who you are. It may tell me part of what you believe. But our society would much rather argue their point than even listen to someone else's.
I agree with that.
You know, listening doesn't make you change your point of view. It doesn't mean you have to adopt what they say. And I think that's lost on us sometimes. Because they tell you, you think you're wrong. They may think you're wrong, but the way you listen to it and receive it, you can really control that conversation. You know, Blake and others at ProTech laugh at me all the time because I'm a big fan of Dr. Phil. Now, what I enjoy about Dr. Phil is it makes me realize my situation really ain't so bad. But
it's like watching Hoarders if you think you got a messy house. Yeah.
True. But it makes me think about, and this is a very famous line from him of, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And, you know, often those two don't go hand in hand. And I think one of the greatest values we can give people through these small groups is hearing someone else's point of view, the ability to listen, to acknowledge what they're saying, to explore that conversation with them. And then you prepare yourself to make an educated response rather than just flying off the cuff.
Right.
And that's what we need more of. And that really extends beyond real estate. That really it extends to life skills and business skills and personal growth. And that's really what we're talking about here. You know, I would love for people to be able to take what we do in these classes or in these masterminds together, because this is not a class. Let's be very clear. It is a mastermind, a continuing series where you build relationships. But you can take this to make so many other parts of your life better. And that's something that I think we can gift people with. But it's you have to have an open mind to receive it. So rather than saying, who is this not for? Who is this for? And it's for somebody that wants to better themselves, better their business knowledge, better their real estate knowledge, build a network of people that they trust. And let's be clear, Amanda, we have behind us ProTech Inspections and Fairway Mortgage. ProTech Inspections is paying nothing for this.
Fairway's paying nothing for this.
Are we being compensated for our time?
No.
We're doing this to change the narrative and to try to equip people in what is already a tough industry and has a lot of ups and downs, to empower people to take the opportunities that they do have and flourish with those. And hopefully that will bring more opportunities to them.
Yes.
So, Amanda, how do you envision, and I know we've talked about this, preparing for this recording, and we've been working on this, 6 months now?
Yeah.
So how do you envision the masterminds going?
So I envision them providing problem solving. We talked about safe space, vulnerability growth, and that continuing, not stopping with each session, that continuing however long this lasts throughout the year so people can grow.
Well, and it's interesting, and I think it's why you and I work so well together. You know, we've taught a bunch of FHA Foundation classes, and we're now getting involved with your Spartanburg offices, and my vision's a little different. You said however long this lasts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pick on you here a little bit because we're going to embody truth over harmony. This is an ongoing thing.
Right.
You know, I see us creating these small groups. And these small groups are of people that are similar in size and volume.
Mm-hmm.
And we have multiple groups for multiple levels, and you graduate from one group into another one because your problems and your needs change. So you're able to work with people who are in similar situations and then also go into a different group for people once you reach that next level, whatever that next level is. So I think we do that through commitment. And commitment, I believe, is important. If you're going to start this process, you have to be committed to it.
Agreed.
That's the part of being vulnerable. So what does that look like? Well, for me, it's one in-person meeting a month where we sit down, we have several agendas, and we follow those agendas. We talk about the 5 pillars of your business. And we can get into those pillars later and what those things are important for maintaining your current clients, finding new clients, reaching out to your old clients. At the end of the day, that's what you're doing, but there are things done behind the scenes that if you're doing it now, you'll see the benefit in 3 to 6 months. If you're not doing it now, you'll still see it in 3 to 6 months. It's just not going to be a benefit.
Right.
So we're going to talk about running your business. We'll let your broker tell you how to do contracts. We'll let your broker tell you the lead services they use or what they can provide if they do. We want to walk through the minutia that is you and your business. Not how Keller Williams does things, not how Coldwell Banker does things, not how Sedan Joyner does things. We want to talk about Amanda Smith's real estate business.
And every real estate business is different.
Absolutely.
So hearing other business models outside of your own can help you grow.
Yep. It absolutely can. And it can give you ideas because people think differently. And this goes back to the prior conversation about being happy versus being right.
That's right.
Different people come at things from different angles. You know, and there's been a big thing on Facebook lately. How is it that it said that the people at the bottom are competing and the people at the top are collaborating? You know, we work with multiple other inspection companies, and we do that to collaborate because it helps make our industry stronger, better, more consistent, and we're able to learn from their mistakes and the things they do right. And they're able to learn from the things we do good and the things maybe we don't do so well.
And I also do that. I collaborate with other lenders at different companies, different company structures, to help me grow, to help me learn, because there's people that I trust, just like you do, that have knowledge that I might not have.
Yep. And, you know, we're all on the same journey. We're just going to cross different bridges at different times. So if we can make our life a little easier by learning from someone else how they would have changed, how they handled it the first time, that's the community and that's the power. You know, back to the thing of it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a community to raise a home inspector. It takes a community to raise a mortgage lender. When you got in the mortgage lender business, did you just start out on your own with no support, no help?
No, and it takes mistakes.
It does.
It takes making mistakes to grow. And everybody's terrified of mistakes.
Takes mistakes to grow. but this just hit my mind. It takes sharing to learn.
Yes.
You know, are you making yourself vulnerable with others to learn from those mistakes and to help them not make the same one? You know, you're kind of investing in other people to grow yourself, and that's kind of counterintuitive.
Well, and I'll go a little bit further on that. Are you willing to listen to the mistake that was made and how it was fixed and take that in?
Pretty strong. Being willing to listen.
Because like you said, everybody thinks they're right.
Yeah, so maybe there is a place that this is not for people, and that is if you already know everything.
Yeah, then this might not be for you.
So truth over harmony, what does it mean? And this is something, all of our core values actually come from a mentor I had prior. And the truth over harmony has always really stood out to me. I'm not smart enough to remember a bunch of lies if I tell them to you. So I'd just rather be up front. And the most common question I get asked is, what the hell is wrong with you? And there's some validity to that question. But I sleep well at night, I'm joyful, and I'm happy because I'm going to tell you my truth. It doesn't have to be your truth. It's my truth. So recently we had a real estate agent that we inspected their house. And for the last 6 months, this real estate agent has driven me absolutely insane. Every single little small thing. We've offered to refund the money. We offered to have contractors come out. And in all honesty, there's nothing that we're ever going to do to satisfy this person. So she made what in my mind is a horrible mistake. They said, how can I refer my clients to you if this is the kind of work that you do? Fair question. So I get in our system and I look her up. And then I said, well, ma'am, I don't think this is going to be a problem. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, over the last 6-7 years, how many houses have you sold as a buyer or as a listing agent? What's the total? And it was in the hundreds. I said, you've referred 4 clients to us, and 2 of them was you. So you obviously think we're the best because that's why you're calling us for your personal home. But you're not referring your other clients to us. So why is that? I don't think that's a concern you need to have because you're not doing it now. That's truth over harmony. But hopefully that realtor begins to now think, how does he know that? Is she doing what's in the best interest of her client? Arguably, I would say no. Because if they're having us inspect their homes, but not the homes for their client, man, I think that's a really strong case for Mr. Attorney.
Yeah, I think harmony sometimes plays into more of what people want to hear. And a lot of people have a very hard time accepting the truth, especially nowadays. I think people are getting more sensitive to the truth. You got to have the truth. It can't always be sugar-coated and peaceful, especially with what we do.
Well, you have to tell people they can't buy a home.
Yes.
That's truth over harmony. What is the reason? Whether it's income, something they didn't disclose, poor credit history, whatever the case is. The truth is you can't buy a house right now.
Right.
That's disappointing.
It is.
What's more disappointing is if you lead them to believe they can, and then they find out later they can't.
Because that's a peaceful way out. That's a peaceful way out. You may be able to do this instead of a hard stop of, you cannot do this right now.
So when I think of truth over harmony, the other thing I think of is we're both in a very unique position. Most of our referrals are coming from someone we know. Mm-hmm. But we don't know the person we're actually working for.
This is true.
We are gifted with their trust, having never met us, to make the single largest financial decision of their life.
Well, and I joke with my clients that I am going to be your best friend for the next 30 to 45 days. We are going to become buddies.
Well, don't we have the responsibility, being gifted that trust, to provide the truth?
Yes.
To ask the hard questions?
Yes.
If you think about it, realtors are doing it on the front end to some degree. They won't show you a home if you're not pre-approved.
Right.
Because they're not going to make that investment in you. Go get pre-approved. Here's the people that can get you pre-approved. And then some agents will, and they don't have a buyer's agreement, and they get upset when they go somewhere else to buy the house because they didn't have that hard conversation. They didn't put truth over harmony. The harmony would exist when they helped them buy the house, but they didn't exercise truth in the beginning to say, hey, if I'm going to represent you, I need a buyer's agency agreement. And then they definitely don't have harmony when they find out later they showed them 2 houses, but they used a friend
or a listing agent
to buy a 3rd or 4th house.
Yeah.
So truth over harmony has value both ways.
It does.
So, Amanda, why are we doing this?
I think that we're doing this because this is something that's needed in the real estate community. No one else that I have seen is promoting cohesiveness and vulnerability and understanding and problem solving. We all just want to get through the transaction and move on to the next one. And in doing that, you don't grow and learn as much as you would as if you dissected those transactions. And a lot of our hustle and bustle, it's hard for us to sit down and dissect. But in a community like we're creating, we're given that opportunity. Hey, I had 4 deals this month. On 3 of these, I had these problems. How could I have prevented these, or how could I have navigated that different? Without taking the time to dissect those transactions, you don't even think about that post-close.
So, why are we doing this? And again, I'm going to come at it from a different perspective. $1.75 billion. The Missouri lawsuit. And there's the opportunity for triple damages against NAR. Now is the time to change the conversation in real estate. There are a lot of things in that lawsuit that weren't able to be brought up. I think one of the most beautiful things that could happen now, quite frankly, and this is a little vengeance, but it's honest, is now NAR should sue that law firm. Because they sued NAR for exactly what they do. 33 to 40% is what they're going to take on a personal injury claim, plus expenses. none of us know where real estate is going. It'll take years for that to settle out. But what you can do right now is invest in yourself and invest in your value. You can commit to a program that's local, doesn't require any travel. You can commit your time to make this real estate community in the upstate different. You can make yourself different. Look, for the longest time, you've been able to throw a rock, and wherever it landed, I guarantee you there's a realtor within 10 foot.
Same with lenders.
Yeah. What are you doing to make yourself different? Those are the conversations we want to have. That's the conversation that attracts people to you. You look at the law of attraction. Look, we'll do over 3,000 inspections this year. 17 employees. I promise you, I could spend my time doing something different. I promise you, 100%. I saw a thing again on Facebook. I'm worse than a little Catholic schoolgirl on Facebook, man. I stalk Facebook all the time because we get so much business out of it. But you see realtors going, hey, I'm having a $10 million year, or I'm having a $60 million year. So the one I saw that said I'm having a $60 million year, at that brokerage, I know the splits, the caps, that kind of stuff. So you're running a $60 million a year business. No, you're not. Their splits and their commissions after their cap is less than the revenue that we do.
But do you run your business based on $60 million in volume or the actual bottom line volume?
We run our business based on the size of business we actually are.
Which I think...
Which is about $2.5 million a year.
Folks don't know how to differentiate between the two.
Yeah, if you think you're a $60 million company, you're not. That's not the cash flow coming into your business. So if you go out and you Google tools for running a $60 million a year business, you're setting yourself up for failure.
But they're totally different.
They are.
Than a $2 million business.
Yeah. So that's perspective. That's what we're talking about, changing how you view your vendors. You know, I get so mad, we'll do 70 inspections for somebody and never have a problem. And then you have one client complain and they completely forget who you are and move on to the next guy. Now, wonderfully, and I love how this works, 90% of them come back because they're not getting everything that we offer. But you know what? We're human. There's no perfect house. There's no perfect lender. No perfect real estate agent. No perfect podcast producer. We all make mistakes.
Right.
How about having that conversation? If we've done 70 things right for you, how about going, hey, I think you missed the ball here. Let me tell you why.
Well, and I don't know about you, but I'm perfectly fine with owning up to mistakes I make.
Paid $14,000 to fix a person's house one time. And state law said I should have gave her $475. I don't have a problem making mistakes. I don't have a problem owning them either. And, you know, we hire people based off of character. So we just hired a new guy, and he's going to be working on a new venture that we have going. And the reason he was hired was because of what he said during an online interview. His core values and his approach aligned very much to how I think. Now, let's assure everybody we're not going to teach you how I think. Nobody wants that. But in 7 years, we've built a home inspection business to be one of the largest 25 in the country.
That's amazing.
And we did it through people. So let's get back to the original question, or one of the questions was, why are we doing this? It's to give back. It's to pay it forward. I promise you there's been tons of sleepless nights. I've lost a leg along the way.
It's a big sacrifice. Yeah.
So we're doing this to share those experiences and to hopefully keep you from throwing good money after bad. And the only way to do that is to share and learn from others. But it goes back to the safe place you mentioned before too. We got to have that safe place where you can do that. There's a lot of masterminds being advertised, and you go out there and you sit in a room with 30 or 40 people. That's not a mastermind.
And you listen to an outline.
Yeah. We're going to have an outline. We're going to have certain things we're going to do to keep you going. We're going to have an accountability sheet. When you leave that class, do you have an accountability sheet? These are the things I said I was going to do. And then do you have a call 2 weeks later to go, hey, Mary, did you do these things? And if you didn't, what do you need help with to get them done? Because 2 weeks ago, this was really, really important to you.
And that's an interactive experience.
It is, and it's an ongoing experience. It's a commitment to your craft. It doesn't matter if you sell cars, build houses, produce podcasts, or make mortgage loans. You have a craft. You deserve for yourself every opportunity to be the best at that you can be. And I promise you, if you're a $2 million or a $5 million agent, the people that are doing 60 million have invested in themselves.
So what's the catch? Is there a catch with what we're doing?
Other than giving your time and making a commitment and investing in yourself and others, no, there's no catch. Now, at some point, we grow this thing. Maybe we have to start charging to get a facility large enough. Maybe it won't fit in your office or mine. Mm-hmm. I don't ever see it being a profitable business. That's not what we're trying to do. And in fact, I'm going to kind of take a page out of the old real estate brokerage playbook, and we're going to ask for sponsors to pay for your lunch. Because we know if we buy lunch, we can probably get some realtors there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a proven way to do it.
Well, everyone loves to eat.
They do. And we'll get some exposure to our contractors. Maybe you need an electrician. Maybe you're not real happy with your current one. Hopefully you've had the discussion with them about why you're not happy. But let's introduce you to some new people that can help you. Let them speak to you. But no, there's no catch. We're doing this because we need to recognize as an industry that now more than ever we need to demonstrate our value.
And we need each other.
We do need each other. But we need to demonstrate our value. And our value is not just in terms of a commission percentage. Our value is in terms of what we as a collective group give back to our communities. People don't see that. They go, $300,000 house, they just made $9,000. They don't see the taxes they pay. They don't see the brokerage fees they pay. They don't see what they paid to market the house. They don't see what they paid to get pictures made. And they don't see that realtor's heart. They don't see that, if Spartanburg Soup Kitchen or Habitat for Humanity comes to them and asks them for $500, they don't see them paying that out. Mm-hmm. We have to demonstrate our value. And the best way to do that is to build a business that creates value for our clients. By creating actual value for our clients, we don't have to worry about stupid lawsuits. Because we did the right thing. We reinvested in our business. We invested in our community. It's about changing the mindset of how you can do business in a way that makes sense, in a way that is fulfilling. And, the old adage, Amanda, is, well, if it doesn't cost anything, it must not have any value. Well, I think the lawsuit proved that wrong.
Yeah.
It cost people a whole lot of money, and they're saying he didn't have any value for that money. So if you don't believe us, don't participate. I got 10 million other things I could be working on. But we're trying to bring something so that people do recognize your value. And for some of you, it may be you that begins to recognize it. Maybe you feel like you've been running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Maybe you'll find out from somebody else something they're doing that will make your life a little easier. So maybe the value you get is an extra 2 hours at home one night with your child, or an extra date night with your husband. I don't measure anything in dollar or monetary value. I do not work to get rich. I work so other people can get paid. What is your value, not only to your client, but to your life? We're tapping into something here that your broker's not doing. He's telling you how to sell, 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 sell. We're telling you how to build value holistically in your life, and how to build a business where you have a legacy to leave your child, or to leave your wife, to be able to go and enjoy things, to be able, if nothing else, to get time back. Because Susie and Mary over here shared that, they're using a VA, or they have a runner that they pay $15 to go grab their signs, or, whatever the case may be. It's not about taking your money. It's about investing in you with our time. Hopefully, if we're lucky, maybe we get some business off of it, Amanda. But at the very least, we can change the conversation and create relationships that make our businesses more valuable in their eyes. Because if we're going to teach you to be valuable, we're demonstrating our value to you up front.
Right.
And it at least makes our job a little easier on the back end with the business we're already doing.
Absolutely.
Amanda, how are we going to kick this off? We've talked about having a kickoff meeting where we go into more details. Hopefully today we've given you an example of the kind of things we want to do, the kind of scenarios we want to share, the content somewhat. But we're wanting to have a kickoff meeting where we get as many people there as we can. And the intent for that kickoff is to introduce you to each other, to ourselves if you don't know us, and begin to build that community and give you more information about what's available to you in this program. We're going to outline specifically what we're going to be doing, how we're going to do it, what our role is, what your role is, and give you an opportunity to sign up to be in groups of other real estate agents with similarly sized businesses. So we don't know exactly when that kickoff is going to be yet, but we've got a great venue that we're asking. You'll see at the end of the video, we're going to give you a link. We're going to give you those dates. But how are we going to roll this out? What's your vision there?
My vision is to have something fun and inviting for our kickoff. Some food, some fun. Like you said, you were going to roll out the format of how we're going to do what we do. The venue will be, a big deal for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, and hopefully, all the people that show up are like-minded and want to grow and look forward to something different. And so I'm really excited. I think our first meeting we're targeting February, so it's coming up.
It'll be here before we know it. And we're still working on finalizing that venue, but the main thing is, look, it's okay to be skeptic. It's okay to not believe us. It's okay to think we're not going to follow through. Okay to think we're not going to provide value. It's up to us to prove that. But it's up to you to take a chance.
And what do you have to lose?
Exactly. And I think most people know I'm willing to have hard conversations. I'm willing to be out there and be transparent. We've been so blessed in building ProTech Inspections. And the framework for this will really be what has helped us do that. So it's market specific, how people respond and resonate to our messaging. And you know what? Even if you don't like that messaging, you're still responding to it.
That's true.
So we want to give back for the success we've had. And at some point, you took an opportunity and a chance to become a realtor. We're just asking you to take another one and give us a chance to help you. And it doesn't require you to use Fairway Mortgage. It doesn't require you to use ProTech Inspections. It doesn't require you to sign up for anything other than to go to the Eventbrite link that will be at the end of this video to give us a couple of hours, one day, to see if it's something you want to do. So are you excited?
I'm excited. Let's do it.
You look excited. So composed. Well, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Again, Amanda Smith with Fairway Mortgage. Make sure and like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Amanda is all over Facebook, as am I. I think you're probably doing Instagram. Anything else?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Tell them where to find you.
So I'm on Facebook, everywhere. LinkedIn, Instagram. You can find me at fairway.com. I'm on there too.
Selling Fords or mortgages?
Mortgages.
Tell me your phone number, Amanda.
864-423-5553. You can call or text me, ask me anything.
All right. ProTech Inspections on Facebook, Instagram. Appreciate you listening. I know this was a long one, and I think there's a lot of content here and a lot of stuff for you to consider as we go into 2024 and rates are falling, and there's good things predicting, a lot of good news that we haven't seen in the last 12 months. And what better way to start off than having new partners, new ideas, a new energy to really get going and have a great year. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.